Hello. Got a couple of things to do today. The first thing is I had this beautiful little happy mail from Sallee. It's so cute. It's absolutely adorable. I just wanted to show you what she sent me. She sent me this gorgeous fox die. You can't really see you can see the outline there, but all the bits you put together, so that's really cute. This gorgeous little fox button, how cute is that? And some gorgeous little toadstool stickers. This one says there's no place like Gnome, and then there's two gorgeous little gnomes, and I have to say these remind me of Liz, Mrs. Cog. I don't know why, I think it's because she's doing her garden at the moment. But thank you, Sallee. This really made me smile. It was gorgeous. Thank you so much. The next thing is I've had a few books that I've picked up recently that I thought I would share with you. The first one is called Butterflies, and it's a colour guide to familiar butterflies, and it's by Octopus. It's very similar to the layout of some of the floral books, but it's great because it's only one side, so you know you've got either fussy cutting opportunities or whole page opportunities for journals. I just thought this was an awesome little book, and I picked this up. All of the books I've picked up recently have been charity shop books except one, so I wouldn't have paid more than sort of £1, £2 for that. This one is super cute, 75p I paid for this. A Naturalist's Guide to Lakeland Waterfalls Through the Year. And this is all in kind of, it's not black and white, but it's monotones. Or sketches, it's like sketches. But this is super cool, love this book. I like that, toadstools. So there's loads and loads of things you can do with this, and I'll show you something I've already done with one of the pages in a moment. These are very similar to books I've shown you in the past. This one's the Oxford Book of Garden Flowers, and it is a bit different to ones that I've shown you, but very similar layout, and I'll show you the next one in a moment. But it's kind of, this one's a lot brighter in terms of the flowers that are in here. And again, it's single-sided. The pages are kind of semi-gloss. They're not as matte as some, but they're not as shiny as others. So it's kind of a semi-gloss book. And this is absolutely gorgeous. And you've obviously got the opportunity to make some tags, which we might do. Probably not right today. But you could make envelopes with this. There's a lot of things you could do with that book. So I'm not sure where for those of you that will probably ask me, that's the ISBN for that one. I'll show you the ISBNs for the others actually. So that's that one. And I had a bit of a fight with a fountain pen, so I'm sorry about the ink. You know what it's like trying to get ink off your fingers. That one. So this is the Oxford Book of Wild Flowers, and this book originally, by the looks of this, came from BritBooks. But it's I think I have shown you this one before. It's one that I buy quite often, or whenever I see it. That's not the ISBN. Where is it? That's really odd, unless I've missed it. It's usually on this page. Wow, there is no ISBN number on this. It's not a particularly old book either. It's from the 80s. First published in the 60s. Maybe it's at the... Oh, there it is. There you go. So that's those. This one I've definitely shown you before, and this is the book that we're going to be using some pages from today. I think I picked up 2 of these at the same time. These were, I think they might have priced on, they were £2 each, and I bought 2 from the same bookshop or the same charity shop. But I just love this book. I always buy it if I see it. So it's very pretty. That one. This last one, I think this has got to be my favourite find. I'm not sure how much I paid for this one, but like I said, I don't normally pay more than a couple of pounds for a book from a charity shop. This one is, again, perfect for either using in journals as pages or envelopes, tags. Obviously, there's lots of opportunities to cut out and make ephemera. Isn't that just a fabulous book? Love it, love it, love it. And it's obviously a lot of vintage plates that are, you know, kind of layered over to show you more than one plate on a page. But look at that, that's just gorgeous, isn't it? So I thought you might like to see this one. Let's find the ISBN. And this is not an old book at all. It's from, well, I say not old, it's from 1985. And there is the ISBN. Okay, the final book is a book that might, well, no, actually it's not the final book. This one also, I can't show you the ISBN for this because unfortunately I've already taken it apart before I thought I should show you. And I've already taken all the pages out, but I just thought this is going to make fantastic envelopes. The paper of this book, I don't know if you can kind of see the texture on that, but these pages were awesome, and it was kind of a recipe book, or a book that told you which wine would go with which food, and it shows you the grapes. And oh, there's also a cheese section, cheese and coffee, which I just, how perfect is that? 2 of my favourite things. So I just thought I would show you this book. I don't think there's, no, that's the, I'm pretty sure I would have thrown the pages away with the ISBN because a lot of the beginning was just kind of chat. So that's the name of it. Okay, final book. This one is a book that my mum actually picked up and gave to me. It's a stamp book, Royal Mail special stamps. There are lots of things in here that you can cut out and use as ephemera. Tiny little things like this. The pages are quite glossy, but what I'm going to do is, it's got a lot of these kind of stamp, where there's stamp stock sleeves or sheets. So I'm going to actually cut these out to use in some kind of ephemera folder. But there's lots of little bits in here that you could use if you like using glossy pages. So this, I'm not sure if there's going to be an ISBN number, or even where you would be able to pick this up from. I would imagine there's an ISBN. Maybe not. Wonder if it's on the box. No. But yeah, Royal Mail special stamps. This would make a fantastic book cover also. But yeah, I'm gonna be cutting that up fairly soon. Oh, a little while ago, I watched a fantastic video by the lovely Jacqui Chimes. Hi, Jacqui. And she used some tea cards and stuck them down to her tags. And I think there may have been, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure where I've read it. It could have been on Junk Journal Junkies Facebook group. It could have been in my Facebook group. But there was definitely conversations about how you get these tea cards. You can't reproduce them. Most of them, there are a few exceptions, but most of them are still under copyright. They're not old enough to be copied and reproduced, which is why I started creating the photo cards. But there was a question about gluing them down. Now, the original albums, most people did glue them in, but because of the conversation about gluing them and whether you can copy them, I thought I would kind of come up with a little way of using your tea cards, but not actually using them as in they're not glued down, so you can remove them if you wanted to. This is a background page from that book that I showed you, the Lakeland Waterfalls one, and these both come from the England is a Garden. So, and what I've done is I've just handwritten in pencil, so it can be rubbed out because my handwriting is not great. But I just thought we would make a couple of tags, not that one because that's already a part made tag. And I could show you what I did. So I've just cut out a couple of pieces of those books, and I also want to say a massive thank you to Anna for picking me up my brilliant scissors from IKEA. They are fantastic. So I can just about see the card underneath. I'm just going to very roughly cut round the interesting piece of page. And I will do the same on this one. My tags, I've said it before, I don't actually necessarily measure tags. A lot of my tags are what's left from other things that I've cut out. If I cut them, if I want some tags, I kind of, well, they could be different every time. I can tell you how big these ones are. They are 7 centimetres by 16 centimetres. Not perfect, but that's roughly the size they are. So these book pages are very white. I'm trying my hardest to do something a little bit different and not do everything really inked, but I am going to ink them. They're obviously not going to be quite as dark as I usually make things, but I am going to ink them a bit to take some of that white away. So I'm going to glue the tag and just roughly place that. I'll do the same on this one. I am going to be, I've had, well, 2 people have said they can't hear me on my videos, so I've ordered a microphone. Hopefully that will help. It's not been a ton of people say they can't hear me, just 2, but I thought, you know, maybe there are other people who haven't actually said anything, so I'll try a microphone, see how that goes. So now I'm just going to trim this off. I'm trying to do this reasonably quickly because my daughter's going to be home from school, and sometimes she's quiet when she comes in, sometimes not so much. These scissors are fantastic, they really are. You don't have to, you know, you get such a long cut with one sweep. It's brilliant. I did cut through the tag a little bit there, but I don't think that's enough to notice. Okay, so what I'm going to do is ink the edges as I normally would. And then what I'm going to do is take my Pound Shop makeup brush, and this idea came from Nina Ribena, and I'm just going to just roughly go over that whole tag, and you can just see it's taken that really bright white away, but it's still a lot lighter than I would normally use. Right, I'm just going to take this to my sewing machine very quickly and sew around the edge. I'll be right back. Okay, so I've sewn around those. You don't have to sew around them. It's just I've decided that I would like to. So get rid of that. And I'm going to see if I can find, I want upright tea cards that are going to kind of match the colours. Maybe it would have been a good idea to have a little look through some tea cards before I started filming. Oh, that's actually purple straight off. Oh, that's kind of purple too. Pink, that's quite nice. I don't think I've got any grapes. These are flowers. I don't think there's anything with grapes on. That might be, oh, that's nice and purple, isn't it? Right, I think, I'm not sure about the pink one now actually. Which one did I use on the pink one before? Okay, that's quite nice. That's the wrong way round. Right, I'll put those there. So I think I'm going to go for that one because it's a little more subtle. And I'm going to just grab a piece of dictionary page and use my tear ruler. If you want to know where I get any of my products from, I now have a list on, I'm still adding to it, but I do have a list on my website, and I think it's an Amazon associate. It doesn't cost you any extra, but if you use the link, then I do receive a very small amount, probably in about 10 years, because I think it's going to take me a while. I'm not really sure how it all works, but it's there. It's there, and obviously if you just want to know what the products are that I use, they're going to be on my site, and the ruler is one of them. So that I'm going to use for that. This one I'm going to use a piece of plain, and this is a little tip. The fly pages in some of the books are absolutely fantastic paper, and I always pull those out. I might dump the rest of the book, but I tend to keep the fly pages on all of the books that I kind of gut, because the paper is just so nice, and it's brilliant for popping onto the back of journaling tags as well to write on. I might have made that just a little bit too small. I think we might be okay. We might be okay. It feels really odd because I haven't done a video for a while. It's been it's all been about the cat recently, as most of you who are in my Facebook group will know. She had a couple of little operations and she wasn't very well at all. She's still not herself, but she's going to have everything checked out tomorrow and hopefully get her baby grey bodysuit off, and hopefully that will stop her from walking like a crab, because she walks sideways at the moment. Okay, now this is the bit that is a little bit hit and miss and may go horribly wrong. Just cutting that off. These are also linked in the products and materials I use. These are photo corners. They're the clear photo corners, and it's not easy however you do this, but I have found the best way is to do one at a time, kind of hold it in place and spin it around, and only use one side of the sheet of photo corners, because if you try and use both sides at once, it does go horribly wrong. And pop one on all four corners. I'm afraid I can't zoom in once I've started filming because the tripod brackets are in the way and I can't actually get to them. Can't get to any button except the record button. Now I'm going to hold those in place and just, see, told you, horribly wrong. I don't think I've done one of these. Okay, I kind of got it on. Daughter came home. I'm gonna try this one and we'll see how this one goes. So I'm gonna take my photo corners again, tuck each one in. I'm hoping this one will go smoothly because the last one went so badly. I did end up with them all stuck to my finger, so I was actually quite glad the door went, to be honest. I mean, you could try and measure and line them up and then put your card in. I tried, couldn't get the card in. So this is the lesser of the evils to try and get this on. Okay, so my corners are in place. And I'm gonna push the top ones down and then have the bottom one stuck to my thumb. There we go. So I'm now going to try and get this on the T card without sticking it to the paper until it's in place. Okay, there we go. Whew. That's quite difficult. I'm trying to explain to you how to do it, but I'm sure you will do a better job than I do. I get there in the end. I get there in the end. So I'm now going to glue that and pop that at a jaunty angle on my card. And then this one. So the next thing that might go horribly wrong are my new eyelets. I want a little bit of that purple grape showing, so I'm going to pop that there. You can add text and things to these if you want to, and I made the mistake of not checking the number on the back of the card before I stuck them down, so I'm not going to hand write on these ones. So what I'm going to do is just pop in my hole. Now I've tried some new eyelets, these quite wide ones, and I'm going to use a copper one for that and a brass one for that. I don't understand the card and all these measurements and what have you, so I kind of made it up as I went along. I can't tell you if I'm doing this right, probably not, and I'm not actually particularly happy with any of the backs. They're okay, but they're not brilliant. So I've changed my blocks to where I think they should be for these particular eyelets. And I'll show you the back in a moment. They're not even longer than the other ones, so I'm not sure why they don't play nicely. Okay, but they do seem to be, I don't know if you can see, they do seem to be very, well, they're very rough and they kind of indent the tag. But this is about these, so I'm just going to grab, just looking for some sari ribbon. I'm going to cut this piece. And I think I'm going to go for this bright green on here. We're almost there. Right, I can get that in the hole. To be perfectly honest, it does feel easier to pull the sari through. It doesn't seem to be pulling so much on the back of these eyelets. I'm just not convinced I'm using the right setting on my cropper thing. What's it called? Oh, crocodile. That's it, of course it is. Okay, so that's a bit long. There we go. So that is a way of using your T cards without gluing them down. I think they're really pretty. I actually quite like for a change, doing something a bit plainer, a little bit simpler. You could use any papers at the back. Obviously music paper would look fabulous, so would text. I've just gone for something a bit whiter, and obviously the sides of the tea cards are quite plain. If you wanted to use you could always make it as a journaling card. If you have tea cards and you wanted to use butterflies, for example, you could just you know, make a journaling card or an ATC size card. But those are my tags. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you again to Sallee for my lovely little foxy happy mail and the gnomes. I hope you found the books interesting, as I will kind of try and remember to show you when I get new books. I did get a really good one on Darwin. I don't know where I've put it. I've had it a while and I thought, oh, I'll show that next time I do a video, but haven't actually got round to, I hadn't really done a video. That wasn't, that was a craft related one. So yeah, I'll stop talking now. Obviously I haven't been on here for a while, and I've gone back into don't know when to shut up. So I will see you all again soon. Thanks to everyone on my Facebook group who are continuing to subscribe to small channels. It's amazing. You are doing so well. And I'm constantly getting messages from people saying, I've now reached 50 subscribers. I've now reached 100 subscribers. And people are really excited when they see their numbers go up. So thank you again to everyone who's participating in this month's challenge. Yeah, I think that's it. I will see you soon. Bye. Take care.